is now time for stories. I am waiting to listen the stories. Okay, you can talk, you can ask, you can chat, and on the stories of a padhana. Yeah, you remember what are the padhanas? What are the padhanas?
Sangvara
Padhana is
Padhana.
effort.
Sangvara
Effort.
padhana. What is the Sangvara padhana means?
Be careful.
มัน
Careful
Uh,
to
God.
retain
God.
for unwholesome.
God. God
What is the
wholesome
second?
thing.
What is the second one?
Pahana Padhana.
Padhana.
Padhana padhana. What is the
To
padhana padhana?
to get rid of
Get rid
to get
of
rid
the
of
unwholesome.
unwholesome thing.
Yeah. And what is the third one?
Bhavana.
Develop the wholesome.
Bhavana Padhana.
Yeah, Bhavana Padhana, develop. Last one?
Develop wholesome.
Anurakha Padhana.
Anurakhana Padhana. What is Anurakhana mean?
To
maintain.
To keep, maintain. Yeah.
To collect.
Protect. Yeah.
Collect
Rakhana. Rakhana means protect. Yeah. Anurakhana. You're protecting again and again. Following to the anumi follow as well. Okay. Bhavana means cultivation or development. Yeah. Pahana. Pahana means kill. Pahana. Prahan. In Thai.
Yes.
Pahana is killing.
Praharya.
Okay. Sangvara. So that is restraint. Okay. So these are the 4 padhanas. Now I have given you to tell me stories on those. Now I want to hear a story from Sangvara padhana.
Okay. It's not a story.
No.
It's more sutta.
Okay.
From the Samyutta Nikaya. The Salayatana Vagga.
Okay.
It's about called Bharadwaja. It's about this monk called Venerable Pindola Bharadwaja. He was living in Gosita's park, and King Udena approached him, and he asked, what is the reason that young bhikkhus, lads with black hair, I think you must know this. It's quite famous, right? The people, young men with black hair in the, Bhadra Yavana, like the ones who are so young, the highest point of their life, in the prime of their life, who have not yet dallied with sensual pleasures. How do they lead the complete and pure holy life all their lives and maintain it continuously? And Venerable Bharadwaja says that when it comes to women, we look at women who are old enough to be our mothers as mothers, and women who are the same age as our sisters, and those who are young as our daughters. And in this way, we don't fall into desire. But the King Udena says, "Oh, but the mind is so uncontrolled; it's just running everywhere, So sometimes, if someone is not guarded, like this might work for bhikkhus who are complete and who are who are very good at concentration and stuff. But even then, for these bhikkhus, even if they do this, they might still have desire." So then Bharat says how the Lord Buddha taught us the Asubha Bhavana, the soul's own feet from on upwards, a sealed bag of skin, this one. So then then Udena says, "Oh, this for those bhikkhus who are developed in body, developed in virtue, developed in mind and wisdom, this is very good. But it is difficult for those bhikkhus who are undeveloped in body, undeveloped in virtue, and undeveloped in mind and wisdom. Because when they, even if they try to attend the body as foul, they can see it as beautiful. So is there another reason why young bhikkhus can stay in the brahmacharya? And then Venerable Bharadwaja talks about Indriya Samvara, about dwelling, guarding the doors of the sense faculties. So when you see a form with the eye, do not grasp its signs and features. Since if you leave the eye faculty unguarded, evil, unwholesome states of covetousness and displeasure might invade you. Practice the way of its restraint, guard the eye faculty, undertake the restraint of the eye faculty. And in the same way, if you hear a sound with your ear, or you smell an odor with the nose, or taste something with your tongue, or felt something with your body, or have cognized or have thought of something with the mind, you should not grasp its signs and features. And this is the reason that bhikkhus can lead the holy life. And then Venerable Udena says, "Oh, this is such a wonderful teaching, and I can see this in my own life when I enter my harem. If I don't guard my sense faculties, if I'm not mindfulness, I can have lustful thoughts. But if I do, I don't." So he becomes a disciple of the. He takes refuge in the Buddha Dhamma Sangha and becomes a Buddhist after hearing this. Um, yeah, I was just randomly reading some points from the Sutta Nipata, and this one I think sounds similar, and not similar. It's about sense faculties, and it's really nice. So I want to say it. It's from the rhinoceros horn. Yeah, Kaggavisana Sutta. It's on the rhinoceros horn set. Um, sense things so sweet, so varied, in diverse forms, disturb the mind. Seeing the bane of sense desires fare singly as the rhino's horn. They are a plague, a bane, distress, disease, a dart, and danger too. Seeing this fear in sense desires, fare singly as the rhino's horn. Very nice, I like it. I think this stuff, the second part is aimed at bhikkhus more than householders, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you understand anything? Want to add or ask Tantita Dammo?
Uh, I think Asubhakamathana is really difficult to know. Mm.
I think like for householders it might be, I don't know, like very hard and probably not
You know,
advised. Yeah.
when
Yeah.
I was a medical student, I dissect the body, cut from skin and muscle
Oh,
and
a human.
vessel. Yes, vessel and do all every organ. But I I can't know Asubha Kamathana because when I saw the man or the woman, I saw, oh, he's handsome, she's beautiful.
Mm.
Mm.
Can you
So
not visualize? Can you
huh?
not visualize like if you peel away the skin, what was underneath, and this
Uh,
is what works for me. Just
yes,
visualizing.
I try to study this.
Disgusting.
Imagine, imagine, I, I will separate his skin and or her skin, but it's very difficult to know.
when I was
Doesn't
reading
work for me too.
Satipatthana, it was saying like in the Chinese the Chinese versions, they also mention try to think of all the disgusting that comes things that comes out of the orifices. So like spit, urine, feces, pus,
Mm,
things like this.
yes.
I don't know
Oh,
like
I
what
saw
household was in this because it'll be I don't
somehow I saw them already. You know, when one
know.
time when I was in operation room,
Yeah.
operation room, I saw the parasite. You know, the long the long parasite, maybe 1 meter,
Mm.
that crawl in the intestine.
Oh, tapeworm.
Ah, yes, tapeworm.
Mhm.
Mm, but after that, I I don't know that body is อะไรอะสกปรกอะภาษาอัง
Dirty,
กฤษว่าอะไรฮะ
dirty,
เออ body
dirty,
is
filthy.
dirty.
Yes, I thought a doctor would be find this very easy.
No,
You see all
no,
the
no,
time.
no. You know, obstetric doctor,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Oh
he,
yeah.
he made he made this perineum again and again and again, but he still can some some obstetric doctor can rape the patient.
Mm,
Oh,
that's true.
Mhm.
What about proctologist? That's probably the most disgusting. I
Mhm.
was talking to this doctor who is a GP, and for prostate exam, it was so funny. It's like, oh, yeah, like so he was talking about going back to work. Oh, so you're ready to go and you know prostate exam. Putting a
uh,
finger in the bum. He's like, oh, he's like, how do you love your job just putting fingers in bums all day? He's like, after a while, you stop caring. You don't think of it as bum and your finger. It's just, it's just your job. It's just like opening a box or something. You don't
mm,
think of it as a body. It's just a mechanical sort of
yes.
thing. And when I think back, this sort of seems to me like the point in Asubha Bhavana as well. You stop being attracted to these features and signs and it's just a thing, like a mechanical, I don't know, just like not something that you should, not disgusted by it,
Mhm.
but not attracted by it either. It is what it is.
Oh, it's very hard to understand it into our mind.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No,
You
uh,
have to train. You have to train to know that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like this Asubha, this is the only reason I can stay in as a monk
Mhm.
because I seem to be able to do it. Um, So it's pretty much the only reason that I'm
Mhm.
still a monk.
I
Otherwise, you will
uh,
take it just as a job, like a doctor's. They take it as a
mm,
study in order to gain the certificate and in order.
teacher, I can see your face, please.
Okay.
Uh, okay.
Yeah, so doctors they learn simply to know about this mechanic or this the physical body. They are not training to know that how discussed it is. But in a practice and in a Buddhism is not about learning just to know what it is, but learning to know this disgust, how disgusting it is. In order, and the purpose is different. Yeah? In Buddhism, purpose of learning disgusting, uh, thinking of a disgust of this body is to get rid of our lust.
Mm.
Yeah, whereas being a doctor, you are greedy. Yeah, you're
Oh,
learning
not
to
all.
you're learning to gain knowledge and get the certificate so that you can go and get the job. So your intention is different. So when your
Uh,
intention is different, obviously it will be difficult.
Hmm.
But all the doctors, if they come to meditate and if they learn Kaya Kata Sati, then it will be very, very easy for them to reflect because they have been there. So they have known which part is in where and how this
I know,
works.
yes, I know
They know
anatomy.
all the
Yes.
colors and shapes and its location.
Hmm.
So, which is the instruction that we have to think of a color, shapes, location, how it functions, like that. So it will be easier for the doctors to practice. Uh, but the matter is how you convince them to come and practice.
Hmm. Do you
Oi,
think also the point in this is to bring a sense of upeka as well, like when it comes to the body? Like you can balance out the infatuation with disgust,
Mhm.
so it brings you to upeka. Like
Opaque, huh?
like you don't care. You're not like
Well, they not care. It should be like not attached to it.
mhm. No, you stop attachment.
Yeah, stop attachment that this is my body. And that doesn't mean that you're not looking after your body. You have to look after your body.
Hmm.
And it doesn't mean that you neglect. So you have to look after.
Hmm.
So basically, you have no clinging, no attachment to the body,
Hmm.
and only knowing that this body also conditioned, created, and we have no control over it.
Hmm.
That's why Anatta Lakkhana Sutta comes.
Oh yeah.
Anatta Lakkhana Sutta comes here to get the deeper understanding.
This this also
I,
sorry,
uh, you
uh,
say,
Asuba, I think also helps when it comes to greediness for food as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when I was studying biology, I cut up a lot of animals because I was studying parasitology, specializing in it. So we did experiments where we cut up fish and animals like this to see parasites. And there are so many disgusting, hundreds fish,
mm,
worms in the eye and everywhere. So after I became a monk, I forgot about this when I was a layman. Like just, actually the same fish I cut up and was so disgusted by, I ate later that night by barbecuing it.
Mm-hmm.
But now when I was a monk, I thought about when I was looking at a fish, I just thought of the parasites and everything, all the disgusting things inside this, and I still ate it and tasted it, but I wasn't as infatuated by it.
Mm-hmm.
And in the same way, when it comes to mindful defecation, you sort of realize, oh, this is the same thing you eat,
Mm-hmm.
What is the difference between what you put in here and comes out?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. It's not like someone else put it in my stomach or put it in the toilet. It's the same thing. Why you wouldn't put your feces on a plate and put it on a table and people won't take photos and say how beautiful it is, but we do that to food. It's just you kind of see this is delusion. So that helps you stop being so greedy for food. And also, I think um, this I realized this yesterday when I was listening to this monk talk about Anathapindiko. It's like sort of when you meditate, you sort of be able to separate the things that bring desire. So, like if you see a beautiful woman, you can quickly understand, oh, this is my eye seeing a rupa, and this is desire. I desire, the attaching my consciousness to the I consciousness. But this doesn't go to the mind, or this doesn't go to the body, and it doesn't, cause a physical like um, desire as much as it did before. So before, because we are not too mindful, as soon as we see, we can be attracted and want to have sex or things like this. But now it's more like, oh, the eye wants to see this as nice. That's it, you know. Like guarding the sense faculties is very useful, at least for monks and I think therefore lay people as well.
Yeah. Okay. Chip, you're okay? You feel really tired.
He's sleeping.
Yeah.
ท่านจี๊บเป็นไงมั่ง
not so okay ครับ but yeah I can still learning ครับ
Okay. So this is another Dhammapada verses from Dhammapada. This is about the restraint of the senses. It says Chakkhuna samvaro sadhu. So Chakkhuna samvaro sadhu. Yeah. Restrain your eyes. Sadhu sotena samvaro. Ears. Ghanena samvaro sadhu. Yeah. Ghanena.
อันนี้อะไรอ่ะคันนี้นะ
Nose.
อ๋อ
พันธะ
And jiva. Sadhu jivaya samvaro. So jiva.
อ๋อชิวหา
Yeah.
อ๋อชิวหา
ชิวหา
ลิ้น
In Sanskrit, is it diva?
คันธะ
I don't know. I'm asking.
คันธะ
And
ชิวหา
kayena samvaro sadhu. Restrain the kaya. Yeah?
อ่า
Sadhu vachaya samvaro. Your speech. Manasa samvaro sadhu. Your mind. Restrain your mind. Sadhu sabbatha samvaro. Sabbatha everything. Yeah?
Sab-
Everything. Sabbatha.
สับ
Sabbatha sambhuto bhikkhu. Sabba dukkha pamuchati. Huh? One who has sambhuto, have understood and restrained. Sabba dukkha pamuchati. Pamuchati ended. Yeah, sabba dukkha, all the sufferings. Eh?
อ๋อสัพพะทุกขา
Ah.
อ่าสัพ
So it's okay, sabba dukkha. Sabba dukkha pamuchati.
มุ
Pamuchati,
จติ
overcome.
สัพ
So
สัพพัทธะนะอะไรอ่ะสัพพัทธะ
sabbata everything.
ก็สัพพะแหละสัพพะ
Sappha-tha.
Sappata samvara.
Sappha-atha นะ Sappha แล้วก็ atha
อ๋อ
Yeah.
ทะ
Sappha-tha. So sappha means all, atha means these
Panchavikta.
objects. So 360, restrain in the eye is good. Sadhu is good. Yeah, good. Chakkhuna samvaro sadhu. Restrain in the eyes is good. And then sadhu sotena samvaro. Good is restrain in the ear. Yeah. And then ghanena samvaro sadhu. Restrain in the nose is good. Good is restrain in the tongue. And then the second verse is restrain in the body is good. Good is restrain in the speech. Restrain in mind is good. Good is restrain in all the senses. Yeah? So here, all sabbatha, atha is referring to all the senses. Atha. That's what's called pronouns like that, referring to all the senses, referring to the back.
That's sabbadam.
Restrain all the senses. Bhikkhu restrain in all the senses is freed from all the ills. Yeah?
สังสาระ
Okay. Now, Than Chief, would you mind to read the story for us?
The story of five big Jetavana monastery. The Buddha uttered words and what was 360 and 361 of this book, which reflect of five bhikkhus. Once there were five bhikkhus in Savatthi. Each of them practiced restraint of just one out of the five senses, and each of them claimed that what he was practicing was the most difficult. There were some heated arguments
Heated.
arguments over this, and they could not come to an agreement. Finally, they went to the Buddha to ask for his decision. The Buddha said to them, each of the senses is just as difficult to control as the other, but all bhikkhus must control all the 5 senses and not just one. Only those who control all the senses would escape from the round of rebirth. Oh. Then the Buddha spoke in words as follows. Verse 360. Restraint in the eye is good. Good is restraint in the ear. Restraint in the nose is good. Good is restraint in the tongue. Verse 361. Restraint in body is good. Good is restraint in speech. Restraint in mind is good. Good is restraint in all the senses. A bhikkhu restrained in all the senses is free from all ills. Samsara dukkha.
So this is the story.
Mm.
So it's not good just the restraint of one senses. We have to restrain all the senses
At the same time.
Okay. One thing, Tanchip, when suppose this finally, when there is a comma, make sure you have a small stop. Okay. Small stop. Do not read like a finally they went to the like finally stop. Okay, and then they went to the Buddha to ask for his decision. Okay. So this is the restraint the senses. Okay. Now, I think we stop for restraint senses here. Is it that?
I think he needs more than us.
Yeah. Tanchip, get some drink.
Coffee.
It's okay.
ท่านจี๊บไปทำอะไรมานะ you feel asleep เหรอ
I feel really tired, Monit. I just last evening, yesterday, the fan from the เพดานภาษาอังกฤษอะไรนะ
Feeling.
from the roof
no อะไรนะครับภาษา
ฮะ ceiling ceiling เหรอ
ceiling
เพดาน
the fan from the ceiling is fell down
ฮะโอ้ where
in the chanting hall
Oh.
and it's nearby พระอาจารย์มหาวิเชียน 's head and but it is stuck from the ceiling and it's hanging like this
อ๋อ
because of
Okay.
wire
เออ
and then last night I had to I cannot put it out, so I had to cut the wire, and today we have to add the wood plate and fix it fix the ceiling again to make it sure that it will not fall down again. But it took time whole day and I just finished it. But actually it's not finished yet. It's just half of them that we added. We have to make it more tomorrow.
โอ้โอ้ย
And
good
it's a
luck
little bit difficult.
เนาะ good luck ที่ it don't hit
Yeah.
the พระอาจารย์ head โอ้ย
And today we have to move to Uposatha for chanting evening chanting.
Ah,
ครับผม
I always sit under the fan. Oh,
be careful next time.
oh.
next time for วันนี้
Ah, okay. Anything anyone wants to say on this Sangwara?
What was it? What did I miss?
No, this talking about the fan fall down and the Tanchip was working all day.
Oh,
That's why he's tired today.
okay for
Can't-
Sangwara I think it's hard to restrain my tongue
Aha.
mm.
โอ้ย I think all of 5 sense เลยแหละ eye eye ear nose
But
tongue and
the most difficult I think my tongue
eye นะเหรอ
Mm.
I think it's eye
I can look at the floor
Mm.
Yeah, but you have
But-
to eat.
yes
It tastes very nice.
ท่านเจี๊ยบ you was attracted by bakery เหรอ same like me same as
I-
me
actually when I was full and I could not eat any food but someone gave me the snacks and sweets so I have my spare stomach so I can eat it
Mm.
something like that.
And also,
Oh.
like when you're a monk, the food is sort of the only thing you have, and people really want to feed you. So they bring the most delicious foods and always. So if you have to really, really be careful with the tongue, no? It's like so easy to.
Yeah.
It is one of the hardest one, yes. But normally that's why we have this reflection, yeah, patisankhayo. Yeah. But for me, I always, whenever I eat, first thought comes, what have I done to the people that they are so generous and offer this food to me? Yeah, and that's all. I always reflect that. And the second, I always look the food, and then look at the people. How many are there? So, and then although sometimes I want to eat, I restrain myself, thinking of others. And this is how I do, and then and I leave it. And sometimes after I do not take it, thinking of for others, and then they do not eat it, and then there is a conflict with me. Should I eat and should I leave it? And then in that, it reminds me the Samanya Phala Sutta that whatever you have given up, you shouldn't take it back simply for the sake of a food. So and then quite often I fight with my desire. Sometimes I leave it, and other time think of this food and how faithfully people have come and offered, and I feel guilty of throwing it away. And then sometimes I eat it. The conflict with my own thoughts, whether to eat or whether not.
teacher you can throw it to ท่านข่าว
No, not anymore.
He used to be.
I used to be the recycling center at the temple, but I've retired.
So always this has been in my mind, always, every day when I eat. I always think of people's generosity, how generous they are, and offering to the monks, and then a second I look at the people, and then I leave it. And sometimes I want to eat, but I just leave it. But then do not take it, then I feel guilty. And then if I want to take it, I remember Buddha's words, do not eat simply that to please your tongue.
Yeah. what works for me is thinking about diabetes and
Yeah.
heart disease,
Oh.
getting really fat and not being able to do what I want, which is live in the forest. If I get diabetes, I get really fat, and also think of defecation and think about how it will feel. Like how it's going to digest in my stomach. Is it going to give me heartburn? How digest? Just think of the negatives, and also think of how disgusting food is. Like it's disgusting because it's
Mm.
meat, fish,
Mm.
just like our bodies.
Mm.
Very disgusting.
So that's why I like to eat on a bowl.
Mm.
So it's
Oh.
easy to so I don't have any conflict because I have
Oh.
taken it and it's enough. It's enough. If that's not enough, then that's okay. Like that. Otherwise, I struggle to my own understanding.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, it is much better to eat. I miss eating in a bowl. It's like
Yeah,
eating on a plate at the table. You sort of feel. I feel like back when I was a layman, just going to restaurants and
yeah.
drinking beer
Mm.
and wine and eating and talking with my friends and you know, or on a date with a girl. It's just like that. It's not really different. Even as a monk, if I sit on the plate and eat the plate, enjoying and talking, I don't know. I
But
Mm.
feel
yeah, but
like
because
yeah,
of the lockdown, no one is coming to the center, so we are eating on
Mm.
a table. You know.
you can still eat in the bowl.
Yeah.
But like this one time, they people invite us to a restaurant, and I don't know. I'm really grateful for them for doing this. I know they did it to, you know, it's a good thing, and good they get the merit. But I didn't like it. It felt so strange for me. Like I felt like I was an imposter wearing robes.
Mm.
Like
Mm.
I shouldn't be wearing robes here. This is the lay people's world.
Mm.
And you order a beer as well. So I wanted
Okay, okay.
to
So I think it's enough for Samvara
What?
Padhana.
Mm.
Let's move on to the next one. Who is next?
ครับ
ฮะ
ผมประธานครับ
สหานะท่านจี๊บ
Yeah.
เหรอ
Yes, but I have to confess that I did not prepare anything. But from my memory, I could not remember his name, but he is among as a in Sariputta Thera Institute, and every time since he became a monk, every time that he he has rust in lost in his mind, and then he will tell Sariputta that, oh, now I am having lust. Could you please give me the way to get rid of it? And then Sariputta would say the way to get rid of it, like to consider your hair, your body hair, your teeth, your bone, your skin, something like that, and he could be calm. And few days later, the six the six women the six women coming to coming into the temple, and at the time Sariputta was not there. And then he saw six women, and he he had lost in his mind a lot. And he he thought that, oh, now it's dangerous because Sariputta is not here. What to do? How should I do? What should I do? And then uh, he saw that I I I will be lost. I will lose. Yeah, I may lose this this war. Yeah, I may lose this war. But at the time, he remind himself that now my teacher is not here, but why do I have to ask him for help in any time? I should fight this. I should fight this by myself. And then he considered himself and considered the women that just the flesh, just skin and hair, and it's dirty, and he took it in his mind and like a spa kamatana, and then he attained Ariya Pukala, but I cannot remember what level it is. And at the time he could fight with a desire and he could win in that war.
Yeah, so that's a padhana. Huh? Okay. Anyone wants to add or ask?
Do you think you need a high level of concentration for this to work?
Pardon?
You think you need a high level of concentration for this to work, like when it comes to a super, like you described?
I think not. I think it's not. Only clinical samadhi. It can work. It can work for this.
Maybe only ปฐมฌาน primary
No.
instinct
No. Kanika samadhi.
only คณิกะสมาธิ
Yes.
I mean, even in regular life, like people only like hair when it's on the attached to the head. If it's on food, people are it's disgusting, throw it away. You know, if they see it on the clothes, they want to take it off. But when it's on the hair, oh, so beautiful. Why? It's the same thing. Yeah, you don't even need to meditate, right? Yeah.
No, when the hair fall in the food.
You have to have a good a reflection, awareness. Yeah, you're able to catch it when it arises. So you have a sharp awareness. Otherwise, you would not be able to take control over your mind. So chitta will just go and proliferate, and it will just go and tell the story and go on and creating our own story, and it will take furthermore. So that's why before it goes, we have to catch it, and this requires significant amount of awareness. And it is not just about the asubha kamatana, but also in every other factors as well. Suppose someone didn't do what you want, someone shouted at you, someone make you angry, or something that you want to have and you couldn't get it. In those situations also, you have to have ability to be aware of your mind, that okay, this is happening to me. Then you can withdraw yourself from that. And that moment, because of we are still putujana, those feelings may still be in your heart, in your mind, and you may feel this anger, you may feel disappointment, you may feel lost, and you may feel hate. But your awareness of that feeling makes you go back rather than reacting. So it takes quite a lot of awareness. So if you look in this case, if you look at the paticca samuppada, feeling,
Vedana.
can you can you
Yes.
say from the nama rupa until a feeling vedana? What is the from the nama rupa?
นามรูปะนามรูปสลายตนะบัสสะเวทนาตัณหาอุปาทาน
Tanha.
Yeah,
Hope.
tanha. Yeah,
ชา
so
ติ
yeah.
ชราม
So
and มรณะ
nama rupa, mind and a body. Because of mind and a body, we have a salayatana, 6 senses. Now, 6 senses is the present moment we have. Yeah, 6 senses comes to contact. Yeah, and when this comes to contact, because of not knowing this contact, what happens?
Hassa.
เวทนา feel
Yeah,
Hassa.
we will
Hassa.
feel
we
Oh.
have a feeling
wanting, desire, tanha. Yeah, but if we know it, we can withdraw ourselves. When you see it, only seeing it. You remember the story last time? Who was the story? Ditte dittamatang. Seeing is just the seeing.
Bahi.
Yeah. Bahiya
Bahiya.
darutiya.
Pahiya ใช่ไหม
Yeah. Pahiya.
อืม
So like that. So you able to withdraw yourself. Not you are seeing, not you are hearing, but just the contact. And to get that level, you have to have a good awareness. And only then you can withdraw. But in our day-to-day life also, you can. The moment when you realize, you just withdraw yourself.
So you use Yoni Somanasikara in day-to-day life. Do you think like Satisambhojanga is necessary to do like what's described in Anathapindika or Bahia? You need a very high level of sati,
Yeah.
like Bojanga level.
Right?
I think I have the similar story about Paticca from Pasariputta Thera. At the time, he announced that he attained Arhanta, and some monk told the Lord Buddha that Sariputta, he said that he already attained Arhanta. He may be lying or something like that, and the Lord Buddha asked the Sariputta to say, how could you prove that you are Arhata? And Sariputta said that when basa or contact happens, then vedana or feelings happens, and then craving is happening, and I'm just seeing the craving and seeing it as a impermanence, and then it has gone, just like that. And then the Lord Buddha said that I cannot remember, but the Lord Buddha praised him for that words.
Yeah. So yeah. So in order to have this padhana, we have to have a good awareness.
So you can stop at contact. Like this reminds me a story I had. There is this. I think you might have them in Thailand. This little, like no, they're quite big. The black ants. When they bite, it's so painful. Oh, I hated them when I was a kid. You get this big red bubble as well. We say if you get bitten by 7 of them, you will die. Because the pain is so bad. I think you might know them. We call them kadias. They have big mouths, and when you are there's everywhere. So indescribable pain. Like when they bite you, you jump. They're that bad. But there was this monk. He said he noticed this very highly regarded monk when he was walking in the forest. You always get bitten by these ants because they're everywhere. Uh, and this monk was a very highly advanced meditator, but he has to jump. He jumped because the pain is so bad. But there's one monk. he never jumped when this because this is a reaction, you know. It's not even conscious. You just don't know. It's like when you touch fire and you go like this. So this monk, when he's bitten by the ant, his awareness of the contact is so high that he doesn't jump. He just very calmly goes down and takes out the ant and puts it on the side. So like he can quickly identify this is contact, and before he doesn't try to own this contact or put a me in it, identify with it, he can quickly just, you know, not cause dosa. I just can't imagine this level because I've been bitten by this hand. It's not all so bad.
ตัวอะไรอ่ะ
มดแดง
เหมือนจะเป็นมด
อ๋อ
มดแดงกัดอ่ะ
อ๋อ
ม
ม
ด
ดแดงไฟ
มดแดง
นึก
ไฟ
ออก
ใช่
แล้วมดแดงไฟ
God, I
Bye.
hate them so bad everywhere I
But
go.
in Thailand it's a red ant.
Red ant. Oh, we have red
red
ant.
ant
No, red ant is not too bad. Do the red ant live in the tree?
Yeah.
มด
Oh no,
คันไฟเปล่า
red ant is not
เป็นม
bad.
ด
This
ง่าม
มดแดงไฟ
it
มด
lives.
แดงไฟถ้ากัดแล้วเป็นบับเบิ้ลใช่ไหม
มดดำอ่ะ มดด
No, no, Moddang is not
Mod-
bad. The red one, red
Moddam.
one is not bad. They
มด
hurt.
ด
ไม่
They
ำมด
hurt
ดำ
me.
โดนใบ
no no
Ant-
Manit
ant
there is another kind of black
So it's-
black ant we call มดคันไฟไม่ใช่มดง่ามมดง่าม
ำ
มดง่ามกัดเจ็บเหรอ
Black
Jep-
ant, it lives
Jep Mark.
on the ground.
เหรอ
It lives like near trees. It's got this like little tunnels under the trees in the leaves. They've got like this sort of sand on the outside, like on that tunnel. Mm. It's so bad. It's like a scorpion bite, you know. It's that bad.
อ๋อ
Imagine
อ๋อ
not jumping
อืม
and
ไป
getting bit by that.
อืม
I cannot imagine because I never get attacked by scorpion
Yeah. I had the experience of a scorpion biting.
Yeah.
When I was novice in Wat Pak Nam, Bangkok. I came back from university. It was little late. I think about 10 o'clock. And then after I went to my room, leave all belongings and came out for the bath because we have to take a bath in a big room with everyone. So we always have to go to that bathroom. And when I came out and I was step on the floor, it was a scorpion bite. And then I had to go to the hospital.
อืม
Is it a white
ฉีดยา
scorpion?
ชาไหม and
Yeah.
you have
Yes.
anesthetic injection เหรอ
Yeah, I
Thank you
stayed
very
about 2 hours in the hospital.
They're very bad.
It was middle night.
when the scorpion coming nearby me and then my friend or other will would tell me that Jeep watch out there is scorpion near you no and I said that no it's okay it's my friend because I was born in a Scorpio
Yes.
I was born in a Scorpio I am
I think the
Scorpio man
scorpion
yeah.
was- Oh.
It will not attack me yeah
Think about
That's-
scorpion.
that's your ทิฐิ
They're so scary. They're so cool, you know. I love to look at them, but also they're so scary. Like going near them, the way they like that, ah! Especially when they run towards you. I feel like screaming like a girl and running away. They're so cool, though. But I love snakes.
teacher and you have anesthetic injection at
Yeah,
the
that-
wound or not ตอนโดนนั่นกัดอะได้โดนฉีดยาชาไหมเจ้าคะ
Yeah, my feet was like a numb.
Oh, this is dangerous. I think it's the white one.
My feet went numb, so I was taken to hospital, and I stayed in hospital about 2 or 3 hours, and then came back.
He-
It was so I feel so unhappy. I had to pay so much as well because
Really?
I was
Mm.
emergency, and there was midnight.
Even though you're a monk?
Teacher, the doctor don't inject anesthetic duct at your wound. Huh?
He gave me an injection as well.
Oh, at your wound.
I don't know. I was sleeping.
Oh.
Or they give you general?
No, just this. I just lying
Mm.
there and gave me one injection, and I think about 2 or 3 hours later, I went back to temple.
Scorpion bite is very pain.
Yeah,
Uh,
so
we
painful.
we had to inject anesthetic duct.
Depends on temple.
It's such a big temple.
แมงป่องต่อยนี่ใช้ใบเหรอหมอ
ก็ใช้ไบต์แหละ
ไม่ใช้สติงใช่ไหม
ฮะ
That was
เขาก็
my
ใช้ไบต์กันไม่ใช่เหรอ
experience of scorpion bite.
They say that
ต้องฉีดยาชาที่แผลท่านจี๊ด The doctor must inject anesthetic duct
mole
ต้องฉีดที่แผลเลย at the
they
wound
be close to hunt. But if
ป
you
วดแค่
see
นั้น
a
เลยอะ
small close, big
ปวดมาก
stinger, that's dangerous
I
because they
think
to hunt.
maybe more painful than
Big
ตะ
stinger.
ขาบโอ้ตะขาบก็เจ็บ
I didn't see. I just
ตะขาบเรียกอะไรนะซินติปีดเหรอ
When I was doing field work in
Huh?
Egypt, we always look for scorpions at night because we were studying how many scorpions, and you would use a UV light to go like this, and scorpion their shell shine. And we look for
Scorpion.
snake, scorpion, and they have these things called camel spiders in Egypt, right? They're so ugly looking. They're like so big. They're like this big, and they always like there was one hair hiding in the toilet, you know. Oh, and you need to look up camel spider on Google, and you will understand how terrifying it is to see one while you are, at your most vulnerable.
เอ๊ะท่านสุชนเราใช้แมงป่องเราก็ใช้ไบต์ใช่ไหมเจ้าค่ะ Scorpion bite
scorpion bite.
ใช้ไบต์
No?
กัน
Some of them.
Okay, so this is padhana. We are going into the scorpion padhana.
To all of you.
The basic term, padhana here. I just come back to the subject. Whenever things happen, be aware and ability to abandon it. But we are not arhat, or we are still putuzana. So whenever things happen, the feelings that affect our physical body, and watch that. You can start from your hate or your anger. When somebody said something which angers you at that time, or when somebody didn't do what you wanted them to do at that time, what happens in your mind and how you react. And that's how you will begin to abandon any unwholesome that creeps into our mind. If you can recognize it immediately, then you will be able to abandon it as soon as possible. But it doesn't mean that it will happen immediately. It will take few moments, maybe a few minutes, or maybe hour or 2 hours. It is depends on how big that story is about. So this is how you can notice, and then ability to abandon it. So always it happens in your body. You will feel in your body something changes. Maybe your heart beats, maybe your body feels heat, or breath changes, and that moment even your facial expression changes. That moment, if you can be aware that, okay, now this is happening because it's not happening as you want it, or because somebody has said. In that case, how you react. And that is how you will notice, rather than going into deep that, I have to cut immediately. It won't happen. If you think that I will cut immediately every time, then you are already no purujana. So you can check like that. Whenever it's not happening as you wish, that moment, all those defilements arises. You will put yourself, how important you are, and then you will put yourself and how busy you are, and then you will be going into the stories. But before going into the stories, as soon as it happens, and if you can be aware, mindful of that one, then you will be able to get rid of. So that's a padhana. So starting from the phassa, when it arises, and then when it comes to contact, in that moment, immediately aware of that contact, and that contact generated some form of sensations in our body. And the ability to watch that and how you are thinking, and gradually it just fades away.
I think the hardest is mind contact. It's very difficult because it's constant. It's okay.
So that's why just it is not just the kanika. We have to have a really good awareness so that we can catch our mind, that how we are relating to those. Okay?
It must be so amazing to have this level of suffering.
You can have that, you can develop, and it takes time. You can start from small things, like I do. Like I always try to notice that feelings. I always try to catch that feeling before it goes into more actions.
I should do this.
Yeah.
When the anger happened, I actually it just yesterday. For a long time that I never have anger, but yesterday there was yeah, something, and then I saw my anger, and it's a little bit higher than before, but I told myself I will not do anything. I will not say anything. But if my mind have the anger, my mind think about bad thing, and I will observe my mind, and then I observe my breath and my heart because it's beating. Yeah. And then I notice how it happens and how it goes. And I could come down sooner than before.
Okay.
That's good.
And
Because you're able to aware.
and and few hours later, then my mind remind me about the story again. And then I noticed that heart is beating, and oh, this is delusion and anger. It will not give me any benefit. Then it goes. And I just wondered, oh, so easy.
So funny how the mind just spins so quickly. It's like, it's like, oh, this one.
It's a recognition. The moment when you recognize, then it's easier. So this is, from my own experience, whenever these things happens, first thing you watch is your heart, as Tanchip said. Heart beats and hearts become very heavy. Yeah. very heavy. And if you concentrate on that rather than the person, rather than the job, rather than the stories, then in a few moments later you will be able to overcome.
And the teeth clench.
Yeah, that's also one of, yeah.
Mm.
That's how you will padhana. That's how you will abandon or get rid of that.
There's sort of a cloud that comes in your mind as well.
Mm.
You know, like I keep thinking the way the mind turns, it's like when you're trying to pull on the lawnmower, like, and then when you pull really hard, it's going duck, 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 like that. Uh, the heart and the mind is.
So that's how I overcome all those things.
It must be hard for you, especially because of your thyroid
Yeah.
issues.
I think if we have more sati,
For practice.
it can overcome this.
Yeah.
And high blood pressure.
So I try to be very mindful, and try to be aware of those thoughts and situations. And that's why sometimes when things not happening as I wanted or as I think, and then I just watch my thoughts and watch my feelings and keep some times for myself. And then I go and then do it myself, like that. In the meantime, understanding everyone that not same as we are. Everyone is different. Everyone's capability is different. Everyone's understanding is different. And everyone is creating their own karma. Everyone creating their own merits, like that. So when you are reflecting in this way, then also you will be able to overcome. You will be able to abandon any thoughts of dosa, hatred or anger or sadness or displeasure, like that. So you will be able to overcome. And sometimes we have to think of not only ourselves, but also thinking of their capability, their karma, their ability, their knowledge, their understanding. So that's a form of compassion, sending with that. And that also helps to overcome. Sometimes if you are just thinking for yourself, then it's very difficult. You become isolated, yeah, and you feel um, like abandoned, and only you, like that.
Me versus the world.
Yeah, no, that's right. Me versus the world. And then in that case can be a very troublesome and can be a very creating frictions and troubles, eh? Whereas if you, after you have concentrated on yourself and then thinking of the person or thinking of others, that their capability, their understanding, their karma, their merits, in this way, then it's easy to overcome. And you will even accept and respect they are who they are and how they are, and hoping that improvements, the collecting of the merits and like that. So it's easy, and it brings the balance. There is no me versus the world, as Tam was saying. There will be no me versus the world, but it's become me in the world. It's become a part of the system. And then whenever you are doing, you are taking it as your merit. It's your training. And then when you are doing it again, you have to make sure that are you doing because of anger or because of something else. If you are doing it because of anger, then don't do it. Just leave it.
That would be most things for me. Nearly everything. I just lay down all day. Well, it's not their fault as well. It's paticca samuppada. It's the conditioning.
Yeah.
And it's my conditioning that's hating them as well. It's fine.
We are making our karma. If you are doing with our hate, so do not do it. Just watch your hate. And then after subsides or after you overcome, then do it. Then that is become your karma, the good karma. Yeah, like that.
Oh, difficult to think.
So that the
I have,
more you the more you try to pay attention to, and the better you will become. And you can start from a little things, and gradually it becomes bigger and bigger. In a bigger scale, you will be able to be mindful and overcome. Ability to abandon any unwholesome thoughts or its doses arises.
Wow. Do you think like arhants are capable of seeing the conditionality in all these things constantly?
Yeah, that's a key.
Wow.
This they are doing, but out of compassion. There's no
Mhm.
reaction.
No
So
wonder Buddha thought he wouldn't be able to teach this to people. Like, don't know where to start. Like, if you wanted to teach this stuff to someone, where would you start? Like,
okay.
system
Yeah.
of thought.
I will tell you my experience. I think maybe in 1 or 2 years. Uh, when I saw my anger, oh, I saw it and I throw it away. Let it.
Mhm.
Uh, it's very so impressed.
Mm.
รู้สึกดีมากๆเลยอะเจ้าค่ะเว
Yeah.
ลาI can do it when I have more and more สติ and 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 mindfulness.
Yeah. The more you become a mindful and aware,
อืม
whenever this arises, you will be able to let it go.
yes.
And when you let go,
Because
obviously,
in, in the past I always hate or get angry maybe more than 2 days.
mm.
Always 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 mad about this story again and again and again.
For me, even 1 year.
Yeah. Oh, for me, like
Oh,
10, 15 years, you know. Sometimes when I'm practicing, this memory comes back. It's like, oh,
ah,
you go start going back and thinking of, well, you know, like how
had
to.
had revenge ใช่ไหมท่านคะ
Sorry?
when you recall you had revenge ใช่ไหม I had
Yeah.
more revenge in some people.
Hmm.
Mm.
Sometimes I get worried because even when I turn my attention to it, it feels good. There's like taking revenge, and then after a while, it starts feeling very painful,
Mm.
and like there is no point in this, and then it goes away. But it's
When I was
Mm.
layman and I wanted to revenge, so I went to gym and then do boxing with
yeah,
my friend, and then I work out with a very heavy barbell.
Same as me, I play tennis, hit hit the ball again and again.
we was just
Play
kicking.
tennis, play badminton to hit.
Yeah, this river, like when I was a kid, my like I think fourth or fifth day in school, right? I was very small, so like the kid picked on me and hit me, so I went back home crying, and my uncle was like, oh, "Why are you crying?" "Oh, this kid hit me, bullied me." "Okay, if you come back crying tomorrow as well, I'm gonna beat you. So go back. You know, tomorrow if this happens, you gotta fight." And then he told me how to fight, and it was
Mm,
very dirty fighting, you know.
Mm.
So I was
mm,
a dirty fighter all my life because I was always smaller. So I was just more vicious and crazy. And so when I went back, and I still like remember this sometimes. Just when this kid tried it, oh, it was so bad. Like I hit his stomach, pushed him to the ground, and kept stamping on him. And one kid actually went nearly blind because I kept attacking his eyes.
Mm.
So like this kind of thing, yeah, if you've done it for a long time, especially even as an adult, it sort of conditions your mind,
Mm.
makes you very enjoy revenge and enjoy violence. And I think
mm,
even when, like Lumpi said, like I did try to do the same, like boxing in the gym and or lifting heavy weights or punching bags and things like this to get rid of aggression, but it doesn't really get rid of aggression. It just makes me more conditioned to violence to get rid of anger, and that never really works. It just keeps increasing.
Okay. Right, we went only 2 topics today. Yeah, Bhavana and Anurakana for Monday. Okay, and Bhavana, Monit haven't said anything, so we'll listen on Monday. And Sanchip and
Okay.
Sanchita Damo, I want you to prepare 2 stories. That one is Nanda, yeah, Buddha's brother, Nanda, and one is Kema, yeah, Pikuni Kema. 2 stories. Who wants to go with what?
เขมานันทะกับพระนันทะ
Sanchip,
Nanta
what do
ครับ
you want?
นันทาเทระครับ
Nanda Thera, okay. Sanchita Damo Kema, yeah, Pikuni Kema.
Oh,
Okay.
Krema's good.
Mm.
Like she's like the Moggalan, Bhikkhuni Moggalan.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, yeah.
อ่า
So, and then we'll continue Monday. Okay.
she had more magic power เหรอ
Right?
ท่านคะ
Sorry?
magical power
No, no,
Kema-
that's
เขมาเถ
Pandavana.
รี
Kema. We will hear
นั่นคื
about
อบน
it.
บนน้
อ๋อโอเคโอ้ย
The
ำ
story.
เคมานี่ wisdom ป่ะหมอ
Don't destroy
Huh?
the story.
ฤทธิ์ไม่
No,
ใช่เหรอ
please tell me.
มีฤทธิ์มาก
Okay. So, thank you and happy Chinese New Year. And,
thank you teacher
Thank you
I have